Nothing beats the taste of a good old-fashioned donut. But what if I told you that a donut shop may have been home to the first LGBT uprising? This is the story behind the alleged Cooper Donut riots.
My name's Keith Evans. I'm the son of Jack Evans. My grandfather was Jack Evans as well. He owned Cooper Donuts.
I'm Jackie Evans. I'm Keith's wife. I'm new to the family.
So for those of us that don't know, what happened at the Cooper Donut riots?
There were donuts thrown, there were cups thrown. He even threw mugs at the cops. Some people said they tried to fit 5 people into the back of a squad car. We have spent countless hours at libraries, online, going through newspapers, magazines, even the smallest neighborhood publications. There's a lot of variations, but we really don't know what did or didn't happen.
In that case, where did the story of the Cooper Donut riots come from?
So there's different accounts. I think the most popular account is John Rechy's in his book, City of Night.
What happened in John Rechy's account, people were sitting at the Cooper Donuts or a donut store, and police came in to check IDs, and they would look to see if you matched your ID, if you had any kind of clothing that was not of your, that you basically were a male that was dressing like a female or female dressing like a male. They would take you out and they'd basically harass you and put you in cuffs and scare you. John Rechy said basically the cops went to do this one night, took him out, and I believe it was another sex worker and I believe a few other people. Tried to put him in the back of a squad car, but it was was cramped. So eventually the patrons didn't like this, and they saw this and started making a ruckus. And more people started coming out and throwing donuts and coffee cups and things. John Rechy escaped. The cops had to take off. The whole main street was blocked off. There's people throwing things and I believe dancing in the streets and whatnot. So
we met Nancy Valverde, and she was an LGBT activist. She used to go to Barber College a block away. And that day, her friends called her from Cooper Donuts on Main Street and said, hey, there's something going down. We really need as many bodies as we can get. Can you please come down and support us? And her boss said, you can leave, but you won't have a job when you come back. So she chose to stay and keep her job. And the next morning, she says she read about it in the paper when she was, walking by. So I was like, there's a newspaper out there somewhere, so her account and the hope of finding that newspaper someday, that tells me something happened. I don't know what it was. I don't know how big it was, but something definitely happened that night. But Cooper's donuts were sold at more than just Cooper Donut locations. So they would actually wholesale them to a bunch of different cafes locally. So a lot of times Lou Fuster's would sell Cooper Donuts, right? Or even I think Scott's would sell Cooper Donuts. There were all these different cafes in the area. Spencer's was one of them. Spencer's would sell Cooper Donuts. So it's maybe slim possibility if it didn't actually happen at a Cooper Donuts, it happened at one of those others and they had Cooper Donuts in the window. But that's unlikely, and regardless of the fact, I guess it's kind of going down in history as the Cooper Donut riot.
That's great, but what about the donut store in the story?
A lot of the businesses around the donut store, I think I was telling you earlier, they were not necessarily incentivized, but they were definitely not encouraged to serve LGBT people. If a cross-dresser came in and they served them, they could have lost their business license. So it was a really rough time. Homophobia was rampant, and that wasn't the case at Cooper Donut.
It was very LGBTQI plus friendly. They had the bars for people who were LGBTQI plus, and Cooper Donuts was open 24 hours a day. I think it was 7 days a week. So
Nancy Valverde herself, I asked her one time, I was like, why Cooper Donuts? Why did you guys go there almost, every night or once or twice a week or whatever, just to hang out? And she's like, Well, I mean, I could have gone anywhere, right? But at the end of the day, I worked my butt off for every penny I made, and if I had a nickel to my name, I wasn't gonna go into a store that barely tolerated me. I was gonna go somewhere where I felt accepted, where I felt welcomed, you know? There were police who frequented there. There were LGBT people who frequented there. There were, again, like transients, veterans, all these different people. They all found community in Cooper Donuts.
Grandfathers always thought that basically everyone was the same. You know, people are people regardless, and if you want to come in, he thought everyone should have a donut regardless of who you are.
History or alleged myth in the making, LAPD issued an official apology to the LGBT community for their actions. The city of Los Angeles commemorated a historic landmark at 2nd and Main Street dedicated to Cooper Donuts and LGBT activist Nancy Valverde.
To me, the real story is behind the family and their welcoming and accepting perspective. Like, they were more interested in treating people the way they had to be treated than what they were wearing, what their driver's license said, you know, what they did at home. Like, none of that mattered. People are people, and that's what matters. And in 2024, may not be a topic to celebrate, but in the 1940s, the 1950s, yeah, that was definitely something to be celebrated. Given everything going on in the world, we need a Cooper Donut. The most important takeaway is not whether or not a riot happened, but that in light of all of that other darkness, there was a ray of shining light.
Cooper Donuts was unique in that it helped people foster a sense of community a lot. It was a place for good. It was a force for good.
Keith has like this hope or dream that some ways, you know, someday a Cooper Donuts store may open again. I can only hope that it would help bring a little more good in the world.